So yesterday we had a pretty good gap, and we filled the gap. We're able to get a little bit of that gap. I wish I could have gotten more, but I think that it's best for me to keep within that trading window. I am going to try and get some stuff working on my phone so that I can leave and swing something like that in the future, but not this week. Anyways, let's come over to the charts. We got, there's the gap fill, and then since then they've bounced off of it. Pretty much similar thing here in the Treasuries. They filled the gap, and then they came back down. This fall back down was very sharp. I'm not quite sure what to think of this because I don't see any news causing it. Maybe I missed something, but that was just a really sharp fall for that late in the day, and I'm not quite sure I understand what was going on there. Pretty much, the same thing in ZB, and then sideways since then. So I don't know. It's very interesting. I'm not sure. This isn't the greatest technical setup for something to happen, right? So today, we don't really have any news either. We got news tomorrow. Yeah, that fall back down was baller. Was there news? I said something in chat and I was like, what the heck? But then nobody really responded, and I didn't see any news, and I think it was just a thing, and I don't know. It was weird. I thought it was weird. Personally thought it was a little weird. But whatever. Whatever, doodah, whatever. Doesn't matter. We should take a good look here. Not that I saw. I just FOMO'd into it. So did you take a trade and make some money off of that? Well, anyways, that's weird. Let's check what else we got going on here. This could be a tough day. They did move down here to the 25 pretty well. There is that going on. The low of the day is the open too. That's interesting. Well, and which way is the spread going? Knob spread is actually relatively flat. When I traded back into value, I sold it at 17 and wrote it down to evens. Oh, wow. That's a good job. Wow. $500 per contract trade there, dude. Good job. Good job. Well, let's see here on CNBC. What's the top news? OPEC allies agree to extend supply cuts and bid to support oil prices. They're concerned about oil prices. Aren't oil prices already relatively high, though? U.S. proposes $4 billion in potential additional tariffs over EU aircraft subsidies. Do I see a move in the euro from that? There was a little spike overnight. I also am noticing a gap in the. Oh, do I need to switch over my roll over my instrument here for the 6J? Oops. Tools, database management. Nope, just for Bitcoin. By the way, we should talk about that. Now that isn't it funny? Now that Bitcoin is below 10K, People not so interested in talking about it again anymore, are they? What does that look like to you guys? Pretty negative technical picture, isn't it? I should have held for more, but it traded back into the initial balance, and I got fair fill of a reversal, but it traded down to the IV low and held. So I made the right move on the exit, but 6 to 7 ticks too early. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that is enough of a further that, well, I don't know. I mean, it depends on if you got an order flow signal at the bottom there that it was going to stop, you know? Because you can totally get that thing where it comes down and then somebody puts the brakes on and it goes sideways for a bit and then it goes through. And if you get one of those sorts of things, you know, that one's really hard to tell if it's going to go through. I mean, if it makes you feel any better, I've never been interested in talking about Bitcoin, says Uzi. Oh, man. It does make me feel a little bit better. It's just, I tell you, I mean, we have to appreciate it though, right? Because it brings in people. It does. And if we can convert anybody over from the Bitcoin into real day trading, then hey, you know what? That's a win. And you know what? If Bitcoin ever gets down to a price where we can buy it, hey, that's a win. So how's our video doing? My video on the Democrat debate is doing okay. 164 views. For some reason, those Andrew Yang fans, they really like to come in and try and play what do we call it? They're out there almost everywhere that I see Andrew Yang being mentioned. They're out there defending him. So we'll make a video. We'll make another video about him, about how awful his debate performance was. Because let's be honest, folks. Like I don't. We only got 6 people on right now, so I don't think that any of the Andrew Yang fans are on yet. But if you're Andrew Yang, you Andrew Yang fans are out there, and you're listening, maybe later today or something like that. He stands zero chance. And I'll explain to you why he stands zero chance. You cannot get elected based on one pet issue. You cannot be elected as president based on one pet issue. And you especially cannot be elected on one pet issue that is so far out of the mainstream of the American public. It's just never going to happen. And you cannot get elected based on an issue that is so far outside of the mainstream of the American public that there is a zero chance that you would ever get that through Congress. There is no chance that you would ever get that through Congress. So if that's the reason that people are voting for you, then it's a pointless vote because you're not going to be able to do what they're even voting you for. He's running for the wrong office, frankly. But probably more likely, he's a business guy. He doesn't understand a thing about politics, and he thinks that he honestly has a chance if he just gets enough social media presence, but it's not. That's not enough. That's not enough. Today should be nice and confusing in Treasuries. The initial balance is the whole day's range right now for all of them. Yeah. So did they start? Well, that move started an hour ago to move in. Wait. I'm getting where is this coming from? I am getting ExpressVPN notifications from Microsoft. That really? Oh, I have no interest in a VPN. That would make things too slow. I actually wonder, because I have a router downstairs, and then it goes to a router up here, and then it goes to my 2 machines, and I wonder, that extra hop, how much does that hurt? Oh, you know what? I should close this blind here. Hold on a second. So, my question, Uzi, what do you use as the initial balance? Because for me, if you look at my chart and I do it colors it in blue. I don't know if you can see that. It colors it in blue. And that's just from the open, and then the first 40 minutes of trade is what I look at. It actually does react to those prices too. It's kind of interesting. Well, they're moving up. But I'm look at the, oh man. Look at, okay, 851, 425 to tick up. Any news causing this? Oh, yeah, so that's another problem we need. Okay, here we go. I see something from Zero Hedge about Cartman. In January, Lagarde said economies at large shouldn't have to rely on central banks yet again in order to resist the next shock. She is about to become head of the ECB to resist the next shock. Here's Kevin. Hey, welcome back. Good morning. I don't know if it's really a good morning. I don't want to, you know what? No. Let's stay focused. I mean, let's stay positive. There could be some opportunity. Look, you could have gotten 6 ticks on this move up. I don't know what's causing it, but it's there. Maybe we have some good trend. Okay, so Uzi says, I use the first hour of the overnight session. It tends to hold throughout the day. So you're saying that if the overnight session has a buy and we're above that we will tend to stay above that initial balance. Is that what you mean, huh? The big thing that I watch is that open price. I used to watch the VWAP. The VWAP is a really great tool to use, but that open is really helpful too. If we're above the open, we're pretty likely to stay above the open for the duration of the session, unless it's an incredibly range-bound day. Now, today would be a good candidate to have that sort of a thing because it's a holiday week and it's a Tuesday and there's no news. It's the beginning of the month. I don't know. It seems like a good day to not do anything. And yet, here we are, moving up. Oh, I guess another thing is that look at how much size is on the DOM. It's only 3,500s put on the DOM. I take the most trades at 6:30 p.m. Really? You know what though? Because that's a really good swing strategy though. Is like right there on that. I've been told at least that a lot of people, they'll do that. They'll look at which way it's going, and then they'll take it there at the beginning of the session and then hold it through for the whole session. Above IB, long bias, below sell bias, VWAP, VPOC, and value area extremes are potential entries. Use order flow signals to try and make it precise. Yes. See, I've taken a lot of trades around the VWAP in my day. And a lot of people have told me that that's like a really bad place to trade. And it is, like, in terms of like what it's actually going to do later in the day, I think is like almost the most uncertain at the VWAP. But the VWAP is going to be like one of the easiest places to get filled. So if you can find some sort of edge to buy or sell it there, I think that you can totally go with it. What's IB, Uzi? It means initial balance. Yeah. Oh, he's already typing. Man, you're fast. First range of the trading session. And that's also interesting that he does it for the first 1 hour range. I take most trades for 10 to 15 points in ZB. Well, man. Kevin, are you in US time? There's a webinar and the guy was talking about Treasury. Oh, he's in Florida. Okay. So I remember watching a webinar where this guy was talking about Treasury specific strategies. And one of the strategies that he had was that you wait for the open, like the extended session open, And I don't know how he was determining which way to take it. I think that maybe he didn't say which way to take it. But, and he said, you just, you'll see which way it's going in the morning. And I also think that he suggested getting in at like evens, 16s, quarter points, that sort of a thing. And then you just hold it for this session. And when I remember looking at it, and I was like, well, I can't tell what the probability for that is. But when I look at it, when you make money off of it, it's, 10 to 15 points. It kind of looked like that's what you were going to get. And that's way better than scalping in the regular session. Like, man. So you look at like the regular session sometimes, you get all of the scalpers in there and they just kind of keep it from going anywhere, Check the silver lines on the chart and how price acts around them. The silver lines are the initial balance. Yeah. So you can see like this one yesterday. Not so much today because, of course, we are stuck within the initial balance. Well, there is one thing that I can see that we haven't mentioned here on my charts. If you look at the volume profile down here in the bottom right corner, okay, yesterday's point of control in ZB was 155 even, and we are significantly above that, and we're pushing yesterday's high. Same here in Treasuries. So the tendency would be for them to come back, and yet they're not. I'm thinking, though, there might be something else going on here because this trend up happened on very little volume. Did Trump fart or tweet or something? Kevin, I should have held that. Yeah, totally. Well, I looked at it. You know what? When I got into work and I looked at it, I actually think that, and I put the comment on yesterday's video. You guys should check the video later in the day because I usually go in and leave another comment on it, and go and reply to that comment. That helps the community out a lot. But I think I made the right choice because it did move up to like that 73, 75 area. And then if I was still watching it, I could have sold that and then held it again for, the 55. So from a scalping perspective, I made the right choice. But from the perspective of, hey, I would really like to swing this, I think I could have done that. And, it came, the amount that it came back was pretty minuscule compared to the risk I could have just left my stop and let it go. But in order for me to do that, I'm going to have to test a couple of things first, right? first, I think that I need to back test some of my stuff on higher time frames. And I would need to make sure that I can, like, trade from my phone or something. So if something happens while I'm at work, and make sure that my stops go, because another thing that happened to me was I was in a trade the other day and I had a brownout. And when I came back, my stop had disappeared. My limit order was still there, but my stop had disappeared. So I would need to make sure that my stops go even if I shut things down on this machine. I try to guess market open to close and see how many times I'm right. That would be interesting. Yeah, I used to try and do something where, like, I would watch the first 30 minutes and then try and make a decision on which way it was going to go after that. But it was actually pretty random, my results on that one. I think that first 30 minutes can tell you a lot. Like, I find it useful to stick that initial balance on my chart, but it's not incredibly predictive, unfortunately. Well, I'm surprised. I'm not surprised, but I'm pretty happy about getting the one tick there. This may yet continue forward, but that was giving me a pretty clear, hey, this is going to turn here. I'm surprised that it was so accurate. Well, they're wiggling it around quite a bit up here now. I'm not sure if it's enough yet for me to be convinced that something is really going on, but it at least has to be on my mind at this point. They made it tick down and down and then back up and then down and back up. On all of those ticks happened fairly easily. Right, 861 to tick it up. I think I might sit today out and watch after yesterday's move. I think it will be chopping. Yeah. Well, this one, when I'm taking them on Treasuries right now, they're on sim. I don't think I'm going to take one in the E-mini unless something crazy happens. Unless a crazy sell below yesterday's high or beyond yesterday's low, I think is what it would take to get me to. I do see some news about an EU jobs package. Maybe that's what it is. I also do see the other thing is the 6J barely moved. hasn't moved a whole lot. 6B hasn't moved a whole lot. 6E hasn't moved a whole lot. Gold has actually moved down. E-mini hasn't moved a lot. This move, I don't see any correlation with anything else. Okay, I do see that we got an uptick and they stacked 3K on us now. So that's probably, that trade didn't work out. We got 1 or 2 ticks off of it. And I was only looking for the 2 ticks. So to not get filled at 27.5, probably have to get rid of it, but Trump aid. United States already has a dialogue with China on trade. I don't know. The other thing that's weird about this move is that it looks like ZB is leading. The knob spread has gone down. Wasn't all that exciting in the 5-year, honestly. This stack right here at 29 is one of the more interesting things that happens. Because we got on last night for 29.63 and got out at 29.68. It looked like buyers had a problem. Well, do you think that Treasuries buying it up, that we're going to see a move down in E-minis later? That could happen. I've seen that happen on a Tuesday before, on a no news Tuesday. I think when no news Tuesdays are one of the more interesting days because, okay, they tick down. That's a really bad side for longs. I have so many thoughts. No news on no. I've seen really strong trends on no news Tuesdays before. It's either like it completely dead, or you get the craziest of trend days that just take people by surprise. I don't know what causes it, but I've seen it many times. Okay, so that stack, when you get 3K at the top, it's one of the more interesting signals because that very often is something that pushes us. They stack it and then buyers can't get filled, and so they start buying into 29.5, and it can just be like a self-perpetuating thing, and they push it up and they stack it, they push it up and they stack it. Like that's what happens in a trend. When the trend really gets going is you get the big stack. But in range bound action, what I often see happen is they do that and they put the big bid there and they make everybody think that it's going to move up, and then you get like what just happened there where they tick down and everybody's disappointed. Or, it kind of goes back and forth for a while, and then they finally realize that they're not able to get out and they puke. So for them to tick down and sell everything that there was at 29, that's a bad sign for bulls. But the caveat is that the 30-year seems to be the driver, and the 30-year is still holding it, and they have a stack at 20. So there could be some more trend. IQ is short at 21. This one could be giving us a given the spreads, this one could be tricky, because when we're moving against the spread, you can always see weird stuff, and it could be the case that somebody just really wants to be wants flattening. They want to be short the knob essentially, And so to do that, they've bought the 5-year up. And so, once they're done, the correlations could take hold again and we could move back down. Okay. So they take that bid. So I think this is the one where probably I would have to puke into here, right? So I don't think that I would get filled at 29.5. I think that they're going to squeeze people. In fact. Yeah, ZB's still a going. Look, their stacking is really strong. Look, now there was a big stack at 2021, and now you're still getting the stack at 22. I think that taking my order flow signal from the 10-year was probably the wrong call at that particular time. Well, I could have gotten a tick. Maybe I shouldn't have been looking for more than a tick. This thing in ZB, though, seems pretty strong. And now here's the E-mini starting to fall. Well, it's probably already fallen too much for me to do something about it. Who knows, the extra wide opening range may lead to a really big trend. Well, I'd say at the moment, the whole super range bound thing is starting to look less and less. Okay. So the E-mini barely even moved up a tick and they ticked back down. And there was a significant downtick. 2,000 that absorbed and then back up. So it seems like the robots are being very sensitive to equities. Okay. Tick back down and 29 is pulling. Now pulling at 22. Well, they're 333 at 22 is no joke, right? I don't know. I'm having a hard time deciding what it's actually going to do here. They didn't hit for 30. There was enough trend on that, though, that you gotta wonder. It's a little confusing. Well, here's the thing about Kevin, about order flow, Kevin. Here's the thing about Kevin. He's really awesome. No. Here's the thing about order flow. The directional bias that you have will affect your view of the order flow significantly. Right? So if you are really certain that they're going to sell today, then that move up, you're going to focus on the things like it started a little bit with very little volume. They're trading a little bit too much stuff up here. There's a lot of stacking, which appears to be intended to push them up. And so this move up may just be something to get the shorts filled on so that they can take it back down. And, it's a range bound day and all of these other things. But if you really think that treasuries are going to go long, then you're going to say, man, that was a really strong trend. And ZB is really pushing up. And when we've had ZB pushing up lately, we've gotten pretty good trends and things like that can continue. So the caution that I think you got to put into order flow is you've got to have something else to know which way it's going to go, and use the order flow as more of a guide on which price to get in at, right? Like right there, I'm thinking because of the way that the treasuries moved, that we could take a short now in equities here at the top of the hour. But I knew when it came back down there at 96.64, based on the range and the order flow and everything, that was a really, really bad spot to take a short because it had a high probability. You were basically at the bottom of that range. Now it's moved back up. It actually moved back up really sharply. But anywhere here above 29.66, I think would be okay for a short. I'm still not sure though. I think that it's probably better for me to wait for some stops or something. Is IQ 1624 the same IQ from Discord? Well, that 21 in ZB is stacking up pretty strong, and it's they don't seem too scared when it ticks back down. Are they going to trade into it? Okay, that was a little bit of an odd reaction there. Did you see the 10-year? Okay, so it just did it again. The 10-year pulled a little bit at 29, and then pulled a little bit at 29.5. So they may be trying to lure people in to see which way to see which side has weaker hands, which way it's going to go. Okay, and we did get the downtick in the E-mini. I got my Florida peeps in here so I don't feel like the odd man out. It's kind of interesting to see where we get people again. Like, we got a couple of people on the East Coast. We got a couple of people in the Mountain Time Zone, but you're never going to get people on the West Coast, are you? You have to wake up at like 4 o'clock in the morning to trade treasuries, and in order to get ready on time and everything in California. Yeah, I don't think you get many treasury traders in California. Probably not. It's nice to know I'm not the only person baking alive. Is it really hot out there right now? It's starting to get hot in Utah, but it's not too bad yet. Okay, so the Treasuries ticked down, E-mini ticked down. And here at +4 ticks, it's actually giving me a little bit of trouble. Well, that's interesting. Maybe Treasuries really are done. Maybe it really was nothing. Many commentators are simply amazed IMF head Lagarde is even being considered for the top job at the ECB. Good piece from our friends. Are they really going to get rid of Draghi for this Lagarde person? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this, guys. Move down in the Treasuries was a little bit too easy again. So I'm just seeing, you know, range bound action again. Okay, that there was some real stacking on the uptick at 29. Curious, but it didn't hold. It didn't hold. They traded through it. Let's see here. It's super humid outside and the sun is behind the clouds waiting to melt everything. Ugh, that's the worst because that's like you get really sunburnt in that kind of weather, huh? It's been a little toasty. We keep getting these rain teasers where it'll get cloudy and stormy, but the air stays swampy. Yeah, the air just feels sick. Sometimes it feels like you can drown in it with all that humidity. Oh man, anytime that I go outside of Utah, I feel like the air just it makes me feel like I'm drowning because air is so much thicker at sea level, and then you add the humidity on top of it. I feel like I'm at a swimming pool or something, I'm swimming through the air. It's harder to breathe. Okay, so the E-mini taking it back pretty easily. Treasuries appear to be backing off for now. Are they going to be able to make 29 go bid again? Bonds look toppish to me, could push more ahead of 7th of the 4th of July. Otherwise, looks lacking fuel. Where did I take my short from? 28.5. Just need to get that pool. Every one of my neighbors has one, and I'm jealous. Like almost everybody has a pool out there, right? Just being me, I noted Bun kicked off after the Iran news yesterday. Also, on Friday, we had the news the EU developed a workaround to facilitate payments with Iran. Did they really? I didn't hear about that. I did see the potential tariffs on the EU. Okay, so ZB is still absorbing at 20. They were not joking. The Instax payment system, which was a red head on Friday on Reuters, caused a point move in oil. It was after the close when I was debriefing. Wait. Arizona blocks Nike? How did they do that? Oh, they were expected to build a multi-million-dollar plant in the Phoenix suburb of Goodyear, and they pulled it. Ouch. Well, for the moment, the E-mini seems to be trending just a tiny bit higher. Treasuries still kind of acting a little odd. There's that absorption at 21, which, in order for there to be more trend in ZB, you would definitely need to see that 21 hold at some point. Well, they got through it, so it took about 900 contracts to do it, but they did get through it. That's probably not. I would have liked to have seen like 1 or 2,000 trade at these prices, And now you're starting to see the stacks, the orders stacking up at like 22 and 23. Right there, 29.6650 in the E-mini, they hit it, but it didn't go. T-Notes didn't really care about Iran news yesterday from what I saw. Any country that tries to de-dollarize gets smacked with sanctions or tariffs as an observation, waiting for some news on, but everything's been quiet. Okay, they tick back up at 29. Well, I don't know if equities are going to sell for us. But so far, the picture for a potential new high in Treasuries, that scenario so far is holding okay. This 20 is still bid. They went through it, but they pushed it back up. It's all very subjective, though, still. I'm not really seeing anything that has, like, certain edge for me other than the initial thing that I saw. You know, the initial move and the initial area that I saw to sell it here in the E-mini. And it does look like that my location to sell it was okay. Just maybe it's not a sell. On Friday, they said the system was available. Next news will be crucial in terms of if they are going to go ahead and use it or not. I wonder how they use that. I'm going to have to go and find that and read it. There they go, bid it at 29 again. Not really getting any kind of real move in the E-mini now. It's been really dead for the past, I want to say 15 minutes. Normally you'd have gotten something by now. $29 bid again. The 21 going to go bid. I'm falling for UB. Look at that top range during that dumb ZN while UB is offering more opportunities. Oh yeah. So if you think that it's going to go up, I would absolutely be buying it in ZB or UB. If you think it's going to go down, I would take it in ZN. That's the way that the spread is going. Unless you think that the spread is going to flip back and revert, then maybe you would want to sell ZN. Or sorry, sell ZB. Okay. Well, that was a pretty significant down. No, actually, maybe not. I think I misread that. It was just ZN going offer, but it wasn't significant. 5-year rate, you know, balancing. At range while it was holding classic range behavior after a breakout. Oh, while it was forming. Yeah, I'd agree. The behavior that it's doing right now is classic after trend behavior. An area that I've had a hard time telling if it's going to move up or if it's going to retrace. My tendency is to always think that it's going to move up and go higher. But I've done this enough time to know that I just can't seem to predict it until like it's happening. Okay, so 19 goes offer. Another thing that always kind of gets me about these sorts of ranges is, so like here in the 10-year, 27.5 is like the bottom of that range. And so I'll think, oh, okay, we can buy 27.5. And then what will happen is it'll go through 27.5 and I'll go, oh, okay, we can sell 27. And then that's where it turns around. Is it'll go just a little bit further than you think that the support is going to hold, and then they go for a new high. I have certainly had that one happen to me. Or the other one that I'll do, I think more commonly though, is, it'll get to 29 and I'll think, well, 29 will go bid and I'll think, this is going. Giddy up. I buy into it and then that's as far as it goes, sort of a thing. See, like this I probably actually should not have on there anymore. If I think that it's going to go up, I want to buy it down here. Chinese President Xi Jinping held talks with his Turkish counterpart Recep Tayyip Erdogan at the Great Hall of the People on Tuesday, pledging more efforts to promote strategic cooperation between the two sides and work for sound bilateral ties. E-mini still holding higher. I think I may have misread the technical picture here in the E-mini, because I can see in this down move that I thought was significant, it didn't actually make a new low there. See? Higher, 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 higher. I'm gonna make 29 go bid again. Come on. I guess another thing I should consider is sometimes what I've seen happen is you'll get a trend and then it just completely dies down from there. Maybe that was it for today. Maybe you got it from 25 to 29 and you're done for the day. You know what I mean? No dogs. Trying to make the most pathetic sound he possibly can, like that he's in He's dying. I'm dying, please let me out. No, it's not time to wake up yet. Sorry, bud. Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of interest in them selling it here in the E-mini. I don't know. Looks like I got it wrong. I'm just kind of trying to decide what I should do with it. 28.5 goes offer. $18 goes offer. Kevin says it might drop at 29.68.5. There's probably, I mean, you might have a good level there, but it's beyond what I'm concerned about at the moment. It's kind of weird though, isn't it? I am noticing, by the way, this might not be a thing, but when they tick down in the treasuries, these pull a little bit. I think there's still a little bit of, hey, the money's easy, buy equities sort of a thing going on. And if treasuries really start to, really start to pull back, calm down, sell, it might hurt equities a little bit. They might not cause equities to sell hard or anything, because obviously that wouldn't make much sense, but it may just hold them back a little bit, I just feel like too much of the rally in equities is based off of July rate cuts. ZB tried to build a higher point of control at 21. It looks like she failed. Some light pulling on the way down. Possible return to the point of control at 12. I'm awfully tempted to sell 28.5 again. So there you go, right there. Or maybe a nice VWAP bounce again. Oh yeah, they could bounce off of 27.5. I think that they're going to go right through 29.68.50, to be honest. Because, I had my stop up there, and whenever I'm in a situation like that, they always go up until they hit my stop, and then I see a bunch of other people getting stopped out too. And like the cumulative delta in everything is just buying, right? He says EB is certainly going. Hmm. No, I missed one. Okay. It was after they hit the high. Oh, that's interesting. Hmm. The technical picture in Treasuries certainly looks negative at the moment. I think, didn't Kevin tell us yesterday that he mostly does ZB? Kind of more of a swing trade, though. Anthony, you should check out Chico Crypto. What is he? What does he say? So he sounds like a crypto guy, huh? We're still above 10K and on the futures, interestingly enough. Well, there's 2968.50. Touched, kissed it. Didn't go through. Dang, Kevin. Pretty decent sell there too. Like maybe some profit taking before the open. Hmm. That whole thing seems fishy to me. They're still in the okay uptrend, and they are holding where I thought maybe they might. It's too close to the open though, right? Way too close. Let's just mark this as... Okay. Okay. Here it is. Is my clock like 10 seconds too fast, huh? Okay, so first impulse in the E-mini is selling. Well, that sucks. He said she's short 29.67.75. I gotta give him at least 5 minutes. That first 5 minutes of trading is ugh. And you know what? Even though they did sell on the open, I'd say that it's pretty quiet. It's not a crazy E-mini open, so I'm not necessarily looking for like huge trend here. Might do the meat grinder thing. Okay, well, sellers are still making progress here. They're back to where I sold originally. So yeah, that really sucks. Look at all the buy volume absorbed at 29.67.75. No, they're selling it. They gonna make it past 64. Well, they made it go offer for a second. Europe circumvents sanctions on Iran. There's the story. See, now they're making me want to buy 29.64.25. I need to not look at it for a bit. It is a special purpose vehicle to enable European businesses to maintain a non-dollar trade with Iran. It's kind of messed up. Playing out pretty good so far. Well, you got 4 points. That's good. I'm a little concerned that I shouldn't say concerned, but I'm not convinced that it's like that we're seeing a serious thing going on here because the treasuries aren't ticking up. And the numbers that I'm seeing over here on the E-mini aren't like crazy or anything. You know, could the instant that I am convinced and sell, it's probably turns. Well, there was something there at 63.25. It's probably already too late to jump onto it. We never reached yesterday's central pivot, and that's a 50. Are you talking about 29? Well, I see this weird price down here at 29.60. There's quite a bit of volume down there, and we never quite got to it. Suppose maybe the E-mini was trying to make it back to 29.67, yesterday's point of control. Hmm. Yeah, absorption at 17. What's with that? Downtick. And stack. Nope. They're messing with me here. Look at that. I don't know how I feel about that. Hmm. So the thing that I'm looking at is I'm getting some order flow tomfoolery in the ZB here. Like 17 went offer. There's a stack. There's a bit of volume that they pushed through to do it too. And E-minis are moving up at the same time. So it seems to me, at the moment at least, that the Treasuries seem to be reacting more to the E-mini moving up than the E-mini moving down. And you can see here at 27.5 in the 10-year, there's also a good little iceberg keeping it down. And there was a lot of shorts on that. Are they going to hit me? This is where they'll like come like so close and not do it. Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, come on. Cool. So now that they're breaking a new high, and after so many shorts in cumulative delta, that can be an ugly situation right there. That was a new high, right? Yeah, it was. It was. Because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I was 2 from it, and they went and they did that. Glad I moved my stop to break even. Yeah, good job. So you did get scratched then? Well, I might be reading too much into what just happened because, it was a good move up, but, look where they come back to. The shorts did not give in off of that one. Made nothing, lost nothing. And you're getting curious delta divergences here. Oh, I can see a D live now on in Nick's MLG. Hey, thank you for tuning in and saying something on D live. I don't know how I feel about the platform yet, but now that Restream will show me D live comments, I'm super excited. I hope maybe we get some more stuff over there. I'm doing okay. My first trade didn't really work out, but it wasn't a disaster. So, and then the second one has okay. So we'll see. If this one goes, I think that I could be really, really happy with today. So far though, they're messing with me. I'm getting that feeling like the market is out to get me again. They're like, oh wait, Seth was long? Oh, okay, well. I guess we can't go and push out all of those shorts. Well, there was a bit of buying again. The treasuries are still I don't know. They might. So 27 is an area. 27, half that VWAP area is going to be pretty balanced, it looks like. Can they make it back to like 24 half the open? That would be a bigger thing. Oh yeah, the Newsy pointing out that the ZB kissed the VWAP. So they might do the VWAP bounce. I mean, first time back to it, the tendency is that they bounce. I don't have a statistic on that, but Kevin says I want his help, and I'm not sure where. Still a mess of offers above us gives me doubt. Yeah, good point, Uzi. So he's talking about these. Why am I using the highlight? I need to use the highlighter. These right here. Right. But on the other side, you got these two things right here, right? So the question is, if we trade down, do those pull? But the thing that I'm most interested in right now is this. We had a pretty decent amount of selling on the open. It's not like what is the word that I'm looking for? Okay, 3,000 contracts isn't a ton. Okay, so let's just keep in mind the size of it. But they did sell. Okay, they sold, and then buyers were able to take it to a new RTH high with barely any effort at all. So when you see something like that, how easy would it be for buyers to hold it here and then push it again for a new high? And then at that point, are these shorts going to start going, oh crap, and now you have 3,000 contracts or so that need to buy going into new highs. It could, at the very least, it could take us up to 29.73 to the overnight high. At the moment, though, they're not going. They made that new high and they came back. Okay, there was a little bit of sweeping there. Some stops at 29.65.25. Some iceberging there. Sellers are quite insistent, it appears. And Kevin went short. 66.75. Oh yeah, you got a good spot. I need to see here that action that we just saw there was a little bit of sweeping and stops. Sometimes that can turn. That should be to see how it reacts around here now. Through all this, I think should be a really good tell for us. For the moment, just kind of ranging around in that area. Odd low volume note at 29.64.75 as well. Okay. So buyers just hit back there and made a pretty good push away from that area. Another sell. See, interesting to me that the micros are iceberging in some spots, like at 29.65. Never seen that before. Oh, they're selling through people. I don't know. I don't know about that one. No, when quoting overload. Don't know what causes that. What's my CPU? My CPU usage isn't high. It must be something with the video card. Well, I don't think that you guys notice anything, do you? You get like a little stutter in the stream or something like that, let me know. They don't like me. It looks like once again they're like, nope, Seth's long from there. We can't get it. We can't let it go above that. We can't let it get above 29.65.50. Yeah, okay. Well, I don't know. I think we're starting to run into a situation where any one particular read can't really tell us too much, you know, because they can come back. They only tend to come back like 4 ticks. They could go back up to the high if they wanted. It'll test your nerves because your entry is now in the middle of the range. Yeah, that's another good point. Is like the initial entry was cool, but now that we've held it for this long, it's not necessarily an amazing spot anymore. You can see this seller seems to be insistent. He doesn't seem to be um, getting paid for his efforts, but he's still there trying to push it down. See that? The question in my mind is, if we moved up to new highs, that would be a pretty big renunciation, let's say, of the cumulative delta. So, what are situations when the E-mini tends to, when limit orders tend to be more influential in price in the E-mini? I haven't watched it enough to really know that. In Treasuries, I would say that a range bound day like this is a good place to pay more attention to the resting orders than the market orders, but hmm. It does appear to be slowing down a little bit, though. I like to say that it's a meat grinder in ES, but this isn't really a meat grinder. This is just kind of dead. It's a meat grinder, but they aren't turning it very fast. Adrian says my cumulative delta is not the same as yours. Is it really? So, I mean, if you look further back, you can see that this move in cumulative delta down is not actually all that significant because there was much further decline before the open. But pretty confident in it. Well, I'm pretty confident in the cumulative delta numbers. Remember, cumulative delta is not very indicative of direction. When there's divergence, it indicates opportunity, but there's no way to know which way it's going to go. So all I can say is, because there's a divergence, if they were to go and hit the highs, I would be very, very happy, because there's a lot of people to stop out short, to stop out long. Whereas if we were to go down, the shorts already had, were already going for that, and they just eventually went out. That could mean less downside potential, but it could also mean, why is the seller so insistent on that? So both directions you get an opportunity, but it doesn't tell me which way it's actually going to go. Now, when you get that, so the technical pictures certainly looks a little bit better. I do notice, though, that the treasuries have ticked up a little bit. Ticked up to 28.5. 28 looks weak. Okay. So I'm still seeing a lot of selling with the bids absorbing in ES. All in through this area. Okay, that time the offer absorbed. That little move right there resulted in a couple of changes. What's with that? There was also, when we were up at the high, there wasn't a lot of interest in it. When we were up at like 29.66.50. Now, of course, it also decreased on that sell, so maybe they don't like that the treasuries sold there. I don't know. Treasuries sold there like that delta. I guess it's not anything but, the ZB, it sold almost that whole rise and held it. Okay, so when they got to 29.64.50, there was, buyers really pushed back. At least for that moment. Did they push lower? They didn't. They equaled the last push down. Curious. Well, it's almost 8 o'clock now. Kevin Donahue. Oh, now we have two Kevins. It's okay though, because you both put in a last name, so you don't have to fight to the death. But welcome. Welcome. Do you trade? What do you trade, Kevin Donahue? I'm going to move back up again. I don't know, man. This is an awfully difficult read here, I think, in the 10-year. Looks like Discord is having some issues again today. That's unfortunate. You laugh, but you know, a very common trader name is John. And we only have one John in here. You want to know why? Yeah. Many good people lost their lives. But we can only have one. There can only be one. Can't have two people with the same name. That just doesn't work. I trade treasuries in ES. Oh, cool, good deal. And do you scalp it or do you swing? What kind of trades do you like to take? Yeah, order flow focused or certain indicators. Because us other Johns haven't told you our name is John yet. Well, I mean, if you have a different name in chat, then it's a different thing, right? Sometime I trade the 3-2-1 crack. I've never... I'm pretty sure that that's a joke about a certain instrument, but I don't know which one he's talking about. Maybe he's talking about oil. Because if anything is crack, it's got to be oil, right? That was a pretty good buying trend that came in there. But they're pausing at 29.67. And they're still not overcoming the trend in the cumulative delta. I think that we need to see some market buying come in here to really get excited. I started my career just watching the DOM and now I'm using charts. Oh, okay. Do you still use the DOM for your order entry? Because I think that's the way to do it. Like, you can trade just off of the DOM, don't get me wrong. Especially if it's an active market, but I'd say it's hard. 3-2-1 crack is a spread. Oh, okay. You know, if you check out the Discord, we have a channel for spreads, and we have one of our better traders, Zerv. He used to trade outrights, but now he just does spreads, and he does really well with those. And I think that he would probably be interested in hearing what you do in that spread. Well, as we moved up here in the E-mini, the treasuries did sell quite a bit. I'm going to guess that was probably... Oh, no, wait. Navarro says previous trade talks are the basis of current negotiations. It will take time to get it right. So somebody's talking. That's why we get in that move. Well, that some guy is over there makes me a little bit nervous, but I have enough room. I think that I'm okay. Spread guys usually understand the overall curve, but well, for sure. So I've had, I'll tinker with spreads a little bit. And whenever I do, I'll get somebody will message me on Discord about the spreads and teach me a few things. I don't know enough about it to really feel confident in making spread trades, but there's a lot of stuff to know about the spread for sure. And yeah, those guys are smart. They don't necessarily, I don't think that they 100% understand why, everything about why the curve moves the way that it does. But they certainly understand its typical behavior and how to trade it. And they smart. Zerv, I think, while he does trade the treasury spreads, he's actually been doing a lot of calendar spreads. Kevin says, knew this chop would be here. Yeah, I'm just looking at this trade. I think that I'm lucky just that I'm still in this, because this move up, it looks like, is based largely off of Peter Navarro speaking on CNBC. And it's still, even at 29.67, and maybe if we can go up and make a new high, but at the moment they do not appear to really be changing the market volume trend. That could change awfully quickly, but my DOM almost looks exactly like yours, but I am a Sierra guy. Yeah, a lot of people in here use Sierra, but I'm a diehard Jigsaw fan. So here's my argument with Jigsaw versus Sierra, because Sierra is definitely cheaper, but I think that Jigsaw, you're going to get innovations faster. That's what I like about them, and they have a really, really well built, stable application. Well, I think we're going for 29.48. Oh, you still think short, huh? I mean, I've actually thought a number of times of just taking the profit at like 15 or 20 in profit. But I really want to see this cumulative delta divergence, equalize out. Because if we get a buy and those 3,000 contracts, come out, I think that we could get a really good uptrend. So far, though, we got the move up. It's kind of holding, but I'm just, the market orders just aren't there, are they? That's why I'm like, well, maybe just get the 20. I don't know. See, like, the thing I'm still seeing is and I'm still seeing a lot of selling into the bids and the bids holding them. Like 300 will sell into the bid. And I'm not seeing that on offers nearly as often. Okay, well, that was a pretty good move. Few ticks. The Treasuries continue to sell as well, which is another thing for... Zero Hedge points out that down for everyone or justme.com is down due to a Cloudflare failure. Kevin really wants that short. You're making me nervous. You're making me question myself. No, I have to hold it. I got to see that delta divergence come out. I want to see it. As long as the Treasuries, unless the Treasuries really turn, I think that would be one major thing that would change my mind here. Because if the Treasuries start buying risk off again. Carney speaking, if Brexit progress smoothly, limited and gradual interest rate rises would be needed. That's the Bank of England. So the Bank of England is actually foreshadowing the possibility of rate increases? Worth the wait on low volume backfillers today? This looks pretty rangy. Like at this point, holding on to this, I don't think that I can say that I see strong order flow support either direction. I think that I'm holding on to it more based on the risk reward involved. Like, I already got a few. I already got one fill. The reward is certainly skewed to the upside. Hoping they just hard Brexit. I'm hoping that they just get on whatever they're going to do. They just get on with it and do it. You know what I'm saying? Because that whole thing is just old, you know? Well, we could be getting to the moment of truth here soon. You have to say, you know, even though we got a good buy there, not incredibly impressive. And the cumulative delta continues to be negative, and they're making a new low in cumulative delta here. Where's my buyers? Of course I'm long, so nobody wants to join me. That's what's going on. That's got to be it. Kartik and LM, your screen looks really different from a lot of streams. Would you mind elaborate on what you're seeing? Well, so what you're seeing is a lot of numbers. And basically the way this works is you get as many numbers on the screen as you can. And then when you see a number that looks really attractive, then you click on it. But no, what I'm really doing is I'm paying attention to how much trades at individual prices to see if there is interest in the market in holding specific spots. Is basically what we're trying to do here. Now another buy is coming in. Let's see if they can, what they do with it. So the thing that I'm seeing right now, if you look in these two DOMs over here are the E-mini futures, E-mini and E-micro. You know, they're selling, but whenever they sell it, well, not that time, but like 254, you know, it takes a lot of contracts to clear it. So what we're getting today is a battle between limit buyers and market sellers. Maybe the limit buyers finally buy and the market sellers give up and start puking. That would make me happy. Something going on at 26.5 here in the 10-year. They sold it. But they didn't like stack on it, so I don't know if they're going to go for more. They might try and get back to 24.5 though. I think that's a definite possibility. Anyways, so this blue column is the limit buyers, right? It's like a resting order on the exchange to buy at a price. And the red column is the sellers, right? And then the two columns in the middle are the market orders hitting into them, right? 111 buyers didn't clear it. So if we do tick up, how much does it take? It's been taken like 300 whenever we get one of those. Okay. So that one, they took about 250 to take it down. This one's still about 150. I probably shouldn't have it reset as often. Yeah. I thought I changed that. Okay. So you can see there was a bid there, 242. they held it. For 400, 500 to hold 29.67.25. So even all the way up here. Even though we're getting back up here, we didn't make a new high. We need to get another two. We need to get above the open. 29.67.75 is the open. If we get above the open. Ah, the animals are happy. The wife finally came down and got them out. Nope. Should I held my first order? I don't know. One thing I'll say, Kevin, is you're pretty good at catching the spots. Like, we still don't know if this is going to move up or down, or if it's just going to stay in here all day. But the places that you've taken trades at are pretty good spots, I have to say. Like, if I had taken it from where the numbers that you had, you know, probably would have had enough to have just felt good about myself and quit. Come on, do it, buy it. Just a few ticks more, buddy. You're almost there. Kevin Rambo. Oh, I didn't notice that it sounds like Rambo. Bromide said, I went along with the market order, but stopped out. Break even as you weren't taking the market up enough. If you base trades on what other people say, you will surely lose, right? Yeah, if you wanted to buy, you call that 29.64.50. Yeah. No, you totally did. Was I already in by that? I don't remember. But I remember that one. You said 29.64.50, and as soon as it touched that, there was pushback. I was like, what the? Not really my market, but I see ES going higher. I don't see any good entries around this price, though, says Bromide. Soundplay has short and Q. I don't know. We do seem to be holding this value area higher. But other than the fact that there seems to be a ton of shorts that, if we made it above the open, might have to start giving up. But other than that, I just don't see a whole lot of evidence that buyers are really intent on pushing it higher, you know? Okay, so there was a sweep there. Rare rift between Pelosi and Schumer over border tests relationship. That tweet came out right when I saw that. I wonder if a Twitter robot just got fooled into a trade there by that headline, because that's not a market moving tweet, but it has a lot of keywords that would certainly trigger robots. Of course, I don't know for sure that that's what happened, but it sounds like a good theory. So, it sounds like a fun theory. So let's go with it. Yay, the Twitter robots are short. Let's buy this up and stop them out. Let's do it. Do it. Go, 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 go. Go. Yeah, there's a tick. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. 29.67.25 still being a bill. Okay. Oh, come on. Keep going. It's interesting. Over 500 to buy it up, and then 500 tried to hold it, but they still pushed back through that, and now they're pushing through 195 at 29.67. So it seems to me like somebody really doesn't want this to go up. Okay. So 700, but they got through them. Come on now, keep at it. No, don't take back down. Boo. Well, that one kind of caused a bunch of orders to go through in the 5-year. I wonder what's with that. I'll reset that so I can keep an eye on that. That was kind of interesting action right there in the 5-year. 5-year is coming back. Now a bunch of selling and they hold a 1/2. Okay, so now I'm starting to see that the offers are starting to absorb a lot more. And that's the second big iceberg on the offer that we've seen now in this area. So there was the 700 up here, and now there's an 800 right there. Is he nice and Gaussian on the profile? That's a good point, yeah. And given that it has now been almost 45 minutes and we still have not gotten a change in the cumulative delta trend, at this point we have to really wonder if it's ever actually going to happen. Of course, I'd probably be saying the same thing if I was short, but when I'm into something longer than 30 minutes, it's kind of like, okay, maybe it's not going to happen. I'm waiting for this breakdown. They're so close. You just 2 ticks up, guys. There you go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, so that's still not enough contracts to wipe out to get a new high in cumulative delta, but if they break the high, then they're definitely going to do that at that point. Ooh, and look at the absorption now at 2968. Treasuries tick back down on that? A little bit. Or they're thinking about it. Just a few steps more. Now that they've broken the open, I think that it would be unusual for them to not break the RTH high. It's going to turn into one of those days where you have to depend on the bid or the offer pulling liquidity. Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. It's like it'll be stuck, and then all of a sudden you get to a certain point and they'll tick up on almost no volume, and you're like, oh, now you let it go. But I think that why that happens is because the market maker just, lets it happen. Like something changes and the market maker says, well, okay, there's enough people short now that I can just pull these and now I can go and stop them out. Okay, so now they're going to get a new high potentially. Yeah, okay, some stops. Action getting a little crazy. Kevin says he's out. They're definitely getting the rise in cumulative delta now that I was looking for. Probably I could see another 1,000 coming out, but okay, interesting that they stopped at 70. Treasuries tick down 1 tick. Look at these icebergs up here at 70. Yeah, I've seen that before. That is the move happened and you get out. That doesn't mean that it can't go for more, but that's one exit signal that I said to myself, next time I see that, I want to take it. Okay, another 1,000 at 70. Well, maybe they are going to go for more. Somebody else big took profits. I think I take profits. Well, at least you guys got to get in. CB is kaput. Yeah. Did you if it goes to 73, then maybe I'll be mad, but took it off at 70, right? ES outperforming in key range wise. I never like that. Okay, that's an interesting. That is not something I've ever heard before, and I know that when I see that sort of a thing in Treasuries, it means stuff. So that's definitely something I want to pay attention to in the future. I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, okay, I took basically made $20. Did I, yeah, see like that 24.55 at 29.71. So I don't want to mess with that. That could be some strong indication of another move higher. I do think that they might want the high, which is at like 72. But there's clearly some significant profit taking or hedging going on here up at the top. So I'm a little cautious about it. So there it is. They touch it. Cool. That would be standard deviation of normal range. Okay. So if I had held, I would have gotten out, would have made another $10. So now we have to ask ourselves, should I have let that one ride too? I think I'd still would have to be cautious about taking the profits because the equities haven't moved, or sorry, the treasuries haven't moved. I know I don't want to get greedy, right? I'm like kicking myself, but I did see something valid that was a reason to get out. So, and then we don't know if it's going to go beyond 73. I think that's the reason why I'm feeling the FOMO, because hey, they could break out. They could go for 29.80. Ooh, wouldn't that be great if they went to 29.80? But I don't know. Now you're starting to get a little bit. What would push it up there? Well, I'm going to have to remember this, because in treasuries, when it's slow and you see them going into a thing, the market, the limit orders tend to win. It's like they wait until there's enough market orders to be worth doing it, and then they turn it around. And I would say today's a pretty slow day, and maybe that's what they did, was they just waited until there was enough of them. And then finally they decided to buy it up, and they took it, stopped everybody out. And now that they've stopped out and the delta has equalized, then my trade is over. I should be happy. I should be happier than I am. God, I am a greedy bastard, guys. I'm not. Like, I've never felt like a greedy person until the past, like, I don't know, month or so. And now all of a sudden I'm like, wow, actually, you're kind of fucking greedy, Seth. I shouldn't swear. Don't pay no attention to that language there, YouTube. $29.79 is where you think is like one of your targets, huh? It looks like, though, man, those icebergs definitely slow it down. I think something I forgot was, when you get something like that in E-mini, they usually tend to go through it first and then they stop. So it may be, they might even get back below 29.70 again, or they might come back to it and hold it. But that was the exit signal, but I should have been waiting for more, let it go and see how far it goes and then get out. Because that could have been, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe $15 more. And I'm all stressing about $10 too. That's like, gosh, Seth. Oh, you know what though? So the other thing that bothers, I guess the reason it should bother me is because if I take a full stop, it's like $30. So really, on a move like that, if I got pretty decent trend, I should be taking, 40 or whatever. So probably should have done that better. Anyways, what's Bitcoin at today? Oh, or maybe coming back into a slightly more reasonable number, but man, I have to say that price action just doesn't look very positive to me. Maybe I should look at it on a different chart because I have been seeing some differences lately. Yeah, okay. Post my notes here. Actually, let's see here. I would like to see some cleanup at 29.68, a re-auction needed. So if it came back to 29.68, then I would definitely be happy that I took my profits up here. I wish I had held out for the target, that $10, Anyways, that whole thing was interesting. I'm trying to think back on it. Like, that was a good trade. Why did I take it? Well, I took it because there was quite a bit of selling on the open, and then they were able to get back up to the open or high way too easily, even though there wasn't any kind of increase in cumulative delta. And so that was an indication to me that they could try and stop people out long. So how much luck was there in that move? Because I feel pretty good about it working out. I don't know. I think that I just made the right read, but probably the right read was maybe I had like a 5% edge on that sort of a thing. Because, I definitely did not have the best price, for instance. I don't know. But, and that was also a trade that I think that in years past I could have definitely gotten it wrong because I would see, oh, they're selling, and I would have gone for it. But I knew the context of the day wasn't very positive for that kind of a thing. Like this, the initial sell was good, of course, but that kind of a thing being like, some sort of a real trend down, the daily context isn't right for it. It's more likely to grind, and if we're going to grind, then we're more likely to go higher because we're at the bottom of yesterday's range yesterday, and we're at all times highs. So then you also got to be thinking about buying too, I guess. See what the hell, Microsoft? How is that? So that's coming from Brave. So Brave can send me notifications now? We's gonna do something about that. Anyways, so I guess that was what I was thinking. But it worked out, so that's cool. Another positive day. One E-minis at least. I got screwed over on that treasury trade. I only took the one, and then it didn't work out, even though eventually it was correct. Now that's interesting. Why are treasuries buying back up to highs again? I don't understand what's going on. Hey, BBG, time to change this headline. Bitcoin slumps back to 10,000, leading slide of digital tokens. General Motors. Donald Trump. Big 4th of July in DC. I don't know. Maybe because of Europe. It's a little bizarre that they do that there, and there's not that huge of a move in cumulative delta to make it happen, although that was a lot of profit taking at 30. I don't know. That's super interesting action, guys. Well, I'm going to go post the Patreon notes. So, yeah, just to review here, I've been thinking I haven't been doing the review if I look at everything here. So I did take one in the Treasury and I dumped it, and they did go quite a bit higher than 28.5. I could have been really bad, but I would say that trade was bad, because even though I got like one tick in my favor, that was no good. This trade right here, I think it was okay. I probably could have limited it to 10. And I mean, I could have taken a profit, because when it's turned around on me there, I really saw it. But then the frustrating thing is that it went so much lower than where I got. Like, I probably could have gotten that whole thing and gotten 30 or 40 off of that one if I had held it through the open. I don't know. But then I flipped around and I bought it, and I got a good one, so that's good. As always, check out the Patreon. Even if you don't contribute to the Patreon, you can see the posts a week later, and those Bitcoin charts are really useful, especially in a time like this. So far, the indicator seems to be doing its job. It did tell us that we had to have some sort of a pullback. So, of course, the typical behavior in my theory, and this is beyond what the indicator says that we'll tend to go lower, but you can look at it and see for yourself, and you can kind of get your own thing from it. And I really appreciate it too, because you guys are great, and we have a great set of Patreons that's been contributing for quite some time, so I like that. Or I'm appreciative of that. And also, if you can, come back and comment on the video, or actually you can scroll down right now and comment on it. But, if you can, within the next hour, leave a comment on the video, that really helps us out and makes the video, more visible. And because we did well, this is one of the videos that we would like to highlight. So give that a like. And if you haven't subscribed and hit the bell icon, I'm doing all the stuff, all the things. Hitting the bell icon helps, guys, because then you can see when we're going live, and it's a lot easier to find the room every day. So if you'd like to come in and watch every day, I'd highly recommend pressing the bell icon that you see there underneath of the video. Anyways, I've gone on way too long. It is time for me to get going. I will see you guys tomorrow. What might be an interesting day ahead of the holiday. And in the meantime, stay profitable, friends.